Whew, finally made it up here. Hey, you haven't been waiting long.
I've been here for an hour and a half.
An hour and a half?
You told me that first thing this morning. Grandpa always said, get up early, that way you won't miss nothing. I've been here an hour and a half. I even left work. I didn't go to work. I went to work, clocked in, and clocked back out.
Well, I mean, it's morning. We didn't say, oh, it's 12:50.
It's 12:50. And where you? I know where you been too.
Where?
Working at that dabbling bird farm, haven't you?
In the hammock. I mean, yeah, working. You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
We're fixing to go look. What we're gonna look at?
We're gonna look for a cemetery we heard about.
So this is what someone called me and asked me to go investigate. So let's go investigate.
Okay, let's go investigate.
Good deal. Someone's calling me.
Why didn't they call me?
They didn't call you.
What?
The reason they call, hold on a second.
Why didn't they call me?
They're calling me right now.
Why didn't they call me to investigate?
I got connections. So I want to ask you a question. My phone is on 27%.
Yeah.
The charger you gave me, I plug it in,
right, and
it was at 50%. And it keeps going down instead of going up.
The charger I gave you, it goes down rather than going
up. So now it's at, oh, it just dropped down one more.
Well, shouldn't have people calling you.
Well, anyway, what happened is someone contacted me.
Look at that. Look how he keeps making sure that we all know that they contacted him.
Contacted me. So they bought a piece of property, and they want to see. There's a rumor or old tale that there was formerly enslaved people buried there. So what we're going to do, and I looked records, I could find no records on any maps or anything. So we're going to go over there and put eyes on and look for some of the signs that we found before and what we looked for.
I mean, if someone wants to find an old lost cemetery, then I would say you call us, but I guess it's...
Call me. And the only reason you're here is you got the camera. I don't have a camera
Oh,
yet.
man.
You got to use your camera. Come on, let's look. Let's
like
go in the woods. Why do I always go first when the briars and stuff and poison ivy?
Well, you know.
First walked in here, the first thing I see is this right here. Now I could be wrong. I don't know. Don't know what that is. Is that concrete?
And it's fieldstone.
That's fieldstone underneath my foot.
It's definitely fieldstone.
Right there's a fieldstone under my foot.
Now, this is a very, very old cemetery, so...
That is a fieldstone. Look at it. Can you get on top of it?
That's definitely fieldstone.
Think that's a fieldstone?
Yep.
All right. But it looks like it's going down a hill.
It does. But
they would be buried not in the prime place, which is up on the hill. They would have been buried down the hill or off to the side or something.
Typically with the enslaved cemeteries, in a case like this where you've got a church cemetery up there, and
which could have been a family cemetery to start off with, because the church came in after the cemetery.
We got to look at, there's a very early burial here. This is an old cemetery, and then the church started here. It started burying here.
I heard something. I can't tell. Oh, what that is?
That's a fieldstone.
No, it isn't.
No?
That is the old foam from when someone
oh yeah, that is foam.
You use when you put flowers in there.
You're right.
Someone threw it over in here because the cemetery's up the hill.
Right, so often in cases with the enslaved cemeteries that we've seen before, especially if it's next to like a church graveyard or something, where the church members were buried up on the hill and the enslaved people were buried down off of the hill. It's not always the case, but this is the general direction we were asked to look in anyway and see if we could find something. I wouldn't imagine that they would be actually buried on the hill, but like down off of the hill on a flat spot like what we've got right here, although this is right by a creek.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be that far
down. I know one thing. I should have had my snake boots on. So this is like a floodplain for this wash or creek or whatever here.
Yeah.
So probably not right here.
No, it wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be here. Yeah, but you do see stones occasionally. But
I do
you
see
don't
stones.
See any stones in any type of water. Plus, right here where I'm standing, looks like an old terrace.
Yeah, there is a terrace around this site.
Right here.
I think these stones just were rolled down the hill.
Yeah, yeah. Just field stones that were from the terrace.
You look up there. I'm gonna look over here on the other side of this wash. I see more terracing. Got plenty of stone down here, but I don't see any telltale signs of indentations or anything like that. But I do see, you guys might be able to see it too, we can actually see very well preserved terracing going up this hill. Alright, so hopefully you guys can see on camera, this is obviously farmland. Over here you can see terrace, terrace, terrace going up and coming down the terrace, and then another terrace right there. So this is clear indication that this land was being farmed back here at one time. I must be slipping. I must be slipping. I'm over there looking at terraces, and the other Robert's calling, telling me he found it. Where you at?
Just come straight up the hill.
Straight up the hill.
Come on up this way.
I'm coming.
Go to your left. Go to your left.
To my left?
No, the other left.
That is my left.
No, the other left.
To the right.
The right. But go. Can you see me over here in this green shirt?
I see you, yeah.
This is where you need to be, right here.
Oh.
So while you were down there gallivanting around, talking, telling secrets that I couldn't hear,
Telling secrets you couldn't hear.
I came up here, and the first thing I noticed, maybe where you're at you can see it, I see an indention right here.
I do
See it?
too. Yep.
I see a large stone there,
Yep, that's a grave.
and another stone right there.
That is a grave indeed.
This sticks about 4.5, so that's about 5.5 feet, I'm guessing.
Yep.
It's in this direction, which is the same as that cemetery up there. They're all going east to west.
Yes, sir.
So do you think that's one?
Oh, that's definitely a grave. Fieldstone there.
Now,
Fieldstone there.
I see another indention over there at the foot of that tree.
I do too.
What do you notice about this ground all tore up? You know why?
Hogs or armadillos?
Deer.
Oh, deer? Deer?
Deer been here. Deer love these little nuts right there. They love them. So as we're walking that way, I step to my left, and here's another. I don't know, is that one? That's a fieldstone right there. There's several of them.
Definitely a fieldstone.
This
That's
may
hard
not-
to say.
I don't know what that's a terrace. But I don't see an indention, but that don't mean anything.
Well, that's definitely a grave right there.
Definitely. And
No
this one right
doubt in
here
my
is right
mind.
next to it. Foot of this tree right here. There's no stones, but there's a large indention right there.
Yeah, that's a grave right there too.
I'm gonna step right through here. And look for the other stone. Would be right in line right here somewhere. Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
There it is.
There it
right
is. Yep.
There. See?
There's a
Footstone?
footstone. A headstone could be under that
Be
tree.
right there somewhere.
Yeah. Check
Right
it
around
right
there.
at the base of that tree right there.
Is that it?
Maybe. Maybe not.
Well, it could be in that tree.
Yeah, it could be under the tree.
Well,
So we've got two.
two.
Three maybe over there.
Let's
Let's
go in
see.
that. Let's keep going in that straight, like so we'll be in a line direction straight.
Yeah.
See how far they go. Plus, over the last 50, I kind of pull my shoes off to add that much, but over the last 100 and something years, property boundaries have moved.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the land went further that way. You know, the cemetery went further that way.
Right.
Why am I walking through the thick stuff and you got the path around?
Hey, you told me to go straight. I'm looking at this one right here. The one I want to get to.
Oh yeah, I see it.
There's a deer trail right there. Speaking of which, what is biting? Something just hauled off biting me.
Yep, you're right. You're right. I'm going right to it. This is an indention right here.
Yep, that's an indention.
Let's see if I can find a stone. Happens. You know, people always say, "Why don't you carry some tools with you and some whatever?" So
Oh,
guess
look
what
at
I brought
you.
today. Brought me a tool.
Look at you, yeah.
So So it would be around here.
Yeah.
Well, there's not one there.
No stone?
No stone there.
Check the other end.
No stone up here that I can see.
No stone.
Unless it's been pulled and used somewhere else. I did see something in the cemetery up the hill where some of the graves were marked with stones and they were accidentally removed because they didn't know what they were.
Yeah.
And we've seen that before too.
Yeah.
People didn't know what they were, just a rock. Get that rock out of the way. I've tripped over it 3 times.
Right.
They didn't know what it was.
But this
is in line with that line right there.
This is in line, and this is a clear indentation. These are always hard to see on camera, but you can see where the end there, where the other robber did disturb the leaves, and down here, that's the line of it, and it's a grave-shaped indentation.
Yeah, a bit right there. It's about that wide too.
Yep. Oh, set that back down. Maybe they can actually see
you
it.
see the.
Yeah, you
well,
can
my
see.
stick is not straight, but it's close
yeah,
enough.
It's close enough.
You can see how it's dropped down.
Yeah.
Dropped down that far.
Yep.
And have you ever been to a modern, I hate to use this word, pauper's grave?
Yeah. Yeah. They have
know,
indentions too.
Bad.
Yeah.
Because they're the cheapest way to get buried.
Right. They bury them in cardboard boxes, I think. Yeah.
Cardboard box. And then they just covered up with loose dirt. Because a friend of mine had passed away and was buried like that. And when I went to visit him a week later, it had just sunk down. It was sunk down that much.
Yeah.
And then the city comes around every once in a while and throws some more dirt on top of it. But
right.
He had no family. He had no family at all. Let's see if there's any more in that direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what is the years of this community right here?
It's old. It's old. 1830s.
Yeah. We're going to put it right at the beginning of the land lottery was 26 and 27 or something like that. Now we're going down a steep hill. Across another rock, but not saying that that's anything to do with a burial, but there is a rock there. This sure is a steep slope. I don't think they would. Well, there's one way to find out. You just came from down here, though.
Yeah, I don't think there's any burials here. For one, it's some kind of floodplain.
Yeah. Well, there's the branch right there.
Yeah.
So let's try that way.
Yeah. And see, this is kind of in a case where you have to know what you're looking for to find this sort of thing, because we've got stones scattered all throughout here, but a lot of them don't make sense to be a grave. So it's how we can kind of tell what's a grave and what's not. Here's armadillo tunnels.
No more than what we found, possibly. Yeah. And what did David Mitchell always say? Multiply by
3.
3.
Multiply by 3 for the unmarked graves that you see. Multiply them by 3 and you'll get a more accurate number of how many graves are actually there. You can see a terrace at the edge of the cemetery right there.
And this old fence, which is, and right there you see that old, what's left of a pine tree?
Yeah.
That would have been the corner of this old established cemetery.
So let's walk. Oops. Let's walk around this way. Whenever we film an old cemetery, even one that's well maintained, there's usually a couple graves in the woods. Almost always that are
outside the perimeter of an established fence.
Outside, yeah. So you know what this kind of reminds me of? That one, and I forgot the name of the church, but the one in Catala that we went to that had all the graves on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, on someone's cow pasture.
Yeah, because you had the church cemetery there, then the enslaved who also went to the church buried outside the perimeter.
World War II prisoner of war was buried, remember?
Yeah, the World War II prisoner of war. That's it.
His last name was Macon.
Yes.
Captain, wasn't it? Was it a captain?
I believe so.
Or a commander, I can't remember. He was a Navy man that had been taken prisoner.
Killed in action.
Accidentally killed by Allied bombers.
Yeah.
He was on a prison ship. Let's go see if this little flat spot right here, which is outside the fence.
So that's what I'm thinking. If there's more burials here, it's going to be more this way, up on this flat spot here. But also unkept. And this is why it's so important to document these places like the old enslaved cemeteries, that not a lot of people even know they're there, because the people who did know they were there are long gone.
Look at it, watch it, what's right up underneath me right now.
I see an indention. It's hard for me to say. What do you think on that one? Do you think that's a grave?
I don't see any stones.
I don't see any stones either. What throws me off of it is that hump in the middle, and then the hole there, almost like it's a stump hole.
That's a stump hole.
Yeah, which doesn't necessarily mean there couldn't have been a tree that grew up right there.
Yeah. I don't see a stone.
If you find a stone, it'll prove it, but otherwise, I don't think that indention is a grave.
Sure doesn't seem like one.
Oh. Hey, Robert, look over here. Speaking of, what did I say? Always behind the cemetery, there's at least one forgotten grave.
Yeah.
We found 3 unmarked graves. There's a marked grave that's forgotten over here.
Outside the perimeter of the fence.
Yeah, outside the perimeter of the fence.
Which means where we're standing right now,
odds are there's burials.
need to be investigated a little bit more.
Yep, let's look at this one.
Okay.
Check this out. Look how close it is to the side of the road too.
Yeah.
Look behind it.
Yeah.
Right behind it, there's an indention.
Well, let's look at this one first.
Yeah, let me get my flashlight out.
Oh.
Did I leave it in the car?
You probably did. Well, we can read it without the flashlight.
Look at this. I got it. This is Addie, wife of J. Johnson, born October 24th, 1847, died July 29th, 1877. Rest, mother, rest in quiet sleep. Whole friends in sorrow o'er thee weep. And at the bottom it says Fanning.
Mm-hmm. And right behind you, underneath this fallen pine tree, is that the footstone?
That's the footstone. Look, there's a little wall around this grave too, a little rock wall.
Oh yeah, it is. The rock wall. Wait a minute. Is that the foot? Is that a footstone? You sure it's a footstone?
Yeah, that's a footstone down there. I'm about to get this pine tree off of it.
I'll tell you what, I'll get it.
No, I'm gonna get it.
Are you sure?
I'm gonna get it, because if I let you get it, then people are gonna say, why is other Robert doing all the work?
Oh, because you got the camera on. Last time you made me do it when you had the camera off. No, you're probably throwing it on another grave.
I'm throwing it on a grave.
Okay, are there any markings on the footstone?
Yeah. AJ. Addie Johnson. Yep.
Here, take the camera, look at the back side. See anything on the back side. I'm gonna look to see if there's another.
Nothing on the back. Just AJ on the front.
Let me clean the rock perimeter back a little bit so people can see it now.
So I'm gonna, while the other Robert does that, I'm gonna show y'all the how this grave is kind of lost from the rest of the cemetery. I'm gonna walk down this embankment. You can see the cemetery right here, the well-kept portion of the cemetery, and it ends right there, right? That's what you would think if you looked at this cemetery. So now we walk into the woods, and we've got that burial right through there, Miss Addie Johnson. So now we're in the part where there could be unmarked graves, graves of the enslaved.
And we're at least, look how deep this leaf pack and stuff is here. So there's a lot of growth on top of it.
And that's going to definitely fill in indentions. Oh, so right behind her, did I point it out? Did we see it? Oh, look.
Look, fieldstone right there.
Now let's see how that one's set in the ground. It's not really buried deep, but hard to say on that one.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't have another one at the foot. The foot would be right about where hers would be right about here.
Yeah.
mind with it. I don't see one here.
Hard to say.
Yeah,
so
hard to
it's
say on that one.
possibility. But look right behind Miss Addie Johnson here. See the indention?
Another one right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's hard to say if it goes on back further. I can't tell what this is. See this one right here?
Yeah. I don't think that's a grave because
Well, here's a big stone.
I see the stone there. Look at how that goes that way though. I think that's where stuff's been washing
That's
out.
just an erosion.
Yeah.
You need to move a little bit further down here and see how far. Inside, this is the level land is a perfect place for a burial.
Yeah.
So much thick erosion. We're right on the highway.
Yeah, we're right on the road. Yeah, because Miss Addie Johnson there, she'd be buried on what would technically be right of way.
Yes.
So close to the road there.
See how close this is the road right here.
Yeah.
South. Now, of course, this road is old,
Yeah.
but it probably wasn't like this. It probably was higher up. It's been graded down
Right.
over the last 100 and something years. Back this way. You know this road will take you?
Where is this road going to take us?
Remember, I can't remember the name of the cemetery. It's the one where they was a rumor he had buried his
Oh, the
gold.
Hutchinson Cemetery.
Follow that road right there.
Yeah. Straight there.
A couple of miles.
Gotcha.
That's how close we are to that in this community. And what was the other cemetery over there? There was another cemetery over there where the cooks were buried.
Yeah, I remember that one. I don't remember the name
Did we
of
ever
it.
video that one?
We did video it.
I'm glad you brought me my raincoat. You did bring my raincoat, did you?
Sir?
You brought my raincoat that I left in the car.
Your what?
My rain jacket.
I got my rain jacket.
That's how I'll be getting wet.
And here's Miss Addie Johnson right here, right beside the road. We've come back out. Didn't find too much else. We've got her grave, a clear indention right behind it, and then the 3 others. So far we found 5 graves that we can confidently say are graves.
And this whole survey tape is here for a reason.
Yeah.
You didn't roll the windows up in my truck like I asked you to, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, anyway,
Yeah, I don't think you asked
This-
me to. I got it on video. You didn't ask me.
before you turn the camera on, I said, hey, roll my windows up. Anyway, this must be behind me, this ribbon. There's a stake right there, look. So this is the corner of the official cemetery. It's got to be.
Yeah,
They wouldn't have missed her.
right.
So this is it, right there. And we were looking for burials outside of that, and we found possibly maybe 3,
Yeah,
maybe
we found
3 or so.
5, including.
Well, we're not
her.
going to include her because she's technically inside what we think is the cemetery
Well,
ground,
technically she's in the cemetery plot,
but not inside the fence.
yeah, and not
In the
inside
kept- the well-kept area.
Yeah, she's outside of all the cleaned up area.
You want to go over and look at that cemetery, Nick?
Yeah, I see it.
Let's do it.